What is up, guys? Today we are going to go through exactly how to set up your Amazon Seller Central account, and we're going to look at some of the most common places that you are going to be inside Seller Central, how you can use, setting up brand new products, mistakes to avoid, kind of how to use the PPC section, and we're just going to go through all of it in general to show you all of the best advanced tips and tricks, because Seller Central can be a little bit overwhelming. So the first thing you're going to do if you've never signed up for Seller Central and you do want to sell on Amazon FBA is just search Seller Central. And I'm doing this in an incognito window, so Seller Central is not going to recognize all my credentials and everything like that. So this is what you'd see as a brand new seller. So what we're gonna do first, guys, is we're gonna go to register now. So register now, right? It gives you all of these different things to look at. 40% of our profits come from selling on Amazon, right? And I believe that. Start selling on Amazon today, hundreds of millions of customers, right? All of these different perks from selling on Amazon. There's a few different ways that you can actually do this, right? So you can set up your Amazon FBA account as an individual seller, which means there's no monthly fee, right? But you can also set your Seller Central account up as a professional seller. So if you want to do an individual seller, there's no monthly fee, there's no $39 a month, $39.99 a month, but you do pay a per item fee. So if you're going to sell, like 1 or 2 things a month or 3 things a month or something, then maybe the individual plan makes sense for you. But right, you don't have access to PPC, you don't have access to FBA, right? There's a lot of different things that you don't have access to that you do basically need if you do want to get into the FBA on a scale that you can actually replace an income, right? So we're going to focus on professional seller. If you just want to sell a few things, on Amazon, like if you have like some speakers or something like that, and you just like once or twice a month, the individual plan might make sense. But if you are taking any type of scale at all, and you do want to make this into a income stream, then you are going to have to choose the professional plan. And don't be scared about the $39.99 a month, guys, because if you sign up now and your inventory doesn't arrive for 3 months, right? Amazon is incredibly lenient about refunding the professional seller fees. All you have to do is open up a quick chat and say, hey guys, I signed up for a professional account in August, but my inventory didn't arrive till November, and you guys can obviously see that for yourselves. You can, because they can obviously tell when the inventory arrives. Tell them, hey, is there any way that you could refund me up until the date where my inventory actually arrived? And they'll say 100% of the time, they will say yes, right? So we go to start selling, right? You just follow through the steps, create your name, email, password, and then we are going to look at one of my actual accounts. Alright, guys, so once you are logged into your Seller Central account, you'll see a kind of overwhelming looking set of menus, but trust me, it's not that bad. So we're going to walk through it one at a time. The Manage Inventory page is somewhere that you will be often. Right, this is one of my client accounts that I am helping kind of get up to speed, and they let me use it to kind of show you guys around the actual Seller Central, right, which probably nobody else is doing on YouTube because people don't want to give away, the products that they're selling. So, but I thought that it would be best for you guys to actually see kind of exactly what it looks like and where you're going to be most often. So this is where you're going to add a product from the Manage Inventory page. So we're going to go through everything really quickly that you will be using often, and then we're going to come back and actually show you how to add a product, because that is one of the things that people are kind of, most nervous about, and it's one of the things that's most important to have a really good grasp on. So the Manage Inventory page, you will see a lot. It's where you add products. It's where you can change your different pricing, right? It's where you can actually edit your product listing, add backend keywords, add your images, and do all of those fun things. So you can add a product from this menu structure as well, right? There's 2 different places you can add a product. So there's always multiple ways to do things in Seller Central. So don't get overwhelmed. Just learn how to do it your own way and remember it, right? If you want to create a shipping plan, again, there's multiple ways to do it. We can click here and we can go send/replenish inventory, or we can go from inventory and go to manage FBA shipments and do it this way, and we can create a shipping plan. Right, and so I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed showing you multiple ways to do it. So I'm just going to show you the ways I do it. This is how we make a shipping plan. And what I mean by a shipping plan is once you kind of order your units from Alibaba, and let's say you have 500 units packed into 50 different cartons, right, with 10 units per carton, then you go through the shipping plan. You can kind of set, I have this many cartons, they're this length, width, and height, they weigh this much, right? And once you finish your shipping plan, Amazon gives you carton labels. You just send those carton labels to your manufacturer, they apply them to the cartons, and then your freight forwarder takes care of the rest. And we have an amazing freight forwarder that I do share with all of my students who will give you the absolute best prices. So that's pretty much everything that we do in the inventory menu. The pricing menu I honestly never really use. You can do all of the same pricing type things from the manage inventory page, so I really never click pricing. I never ever click catalog. Manage orders, sometimes if you want to see, the names and addresses and things like that of people who are ordering your products to create like a lookalike audience on Facebook, you can do it this way. If you're doing fulfilled by merchant, right, so if you're shipping things out from your house rather than doing Amazon FBA, and for those of you who don't know, Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, means that you're shipping your products into Amazon's warehouses and they're handling all the fulfillment for you. So they're going to package it, they're going to ship it out, they're going to accept the payment, they just take their fee and they give you the balance, right? So I don't usually often use orders, but if you are fulfilling by merchant, which means you're shipping it out from your own house, you will use this menu a little bit more. The advertising menu, I definitely do use a lot. So this menu, right, this is where you create PPC campaigns, enhanced brand content. This is where you can upload more images than the average seller if you do have a trademarked brand, right? So for brand new sellers, you're probably not going to worry about enhanced brand content because trademarks take anywhere from 6 to 10 months to actually be approved. If you have a brand new product and you don't really know anybody to leave you those first initial reviews, right? Then the early reviewer program is a great way to do that. Amazon offers it for a certain set of products. Basically, they'll give you your first 5 reviews if you have between 0 and 5 reviews, and they generally do that I think for about $60. Lightning deals is if you've ever been on Amazon and you see 33% of deal claimed, right? This is how you set up a deal like that as a seller, right? Most people have seen lightning deals on Amazon's site if they actually do browse Amazon, right? So this is like if somebody wants to discount their product 50% or something like that to try to remove some of their inventory, they will initiate a lightning deal. This is where you do that. If you were setting up a promotion, if you want to give away some of your products when you are first in the product launch phase, because how Amazon's algorithm works is people kind of have to give away a certain amount of units when they are launching their products to trick Amazon into thinking that they have, all these sales, which kind of launches your product up to page 1, and then it's kind of a snowball effect where you are on page 1 from giving away all those units, tricking Amazon into thinking that you did sell them, and then once you are on page 1, if you have, quality images, a quality listing, and you have at least a few reviews, you stay on page 1, and that is the beauty of Amazon FBA. A lot of people just don't understand how to get to page 1, but we do talk about that in some of my other videos, and we talk about it very in depth, strategies to guarantee for a 100% fact to get to page 1 for the cheapest price, obviously in the Amazon FBA Ninja course. So the storefront, again, this is for enhanced brand content. If you have a trademarked brand, so new sellers should not worry about it. Reports. A lot of these reports are very complicated and overwhelming. The only real report that I use all of the time, and the only real report that you really need to understand very well, is your search term report. So the search term report shows you exactly what words people type into the Amazon search bar to eventually lead them to buying your product. So if you're running, advertising campaigns through the advertising menu and somebody goes ahead and buys your product, let's say they typed in, jumbo stainless steel garlic press into the Amazon search bar, they see your ad come up, they click it and they buy, you'll be able to see exactly what they typed in from the search term report. All you have to do is go to request report. Amazon still has this strange error where you can't actually run search term reports from the Google Chrome browser. For whatever reason, it's 2017, mid-August, Amazon, get your shit together. But you can run it from Safari or from Firefox. It's the one kind of error that they really haven't fixed. So that's kind of a general walkthrough through all of the different things that I use Seller Central for the most. The 3 menus are manage inventory in the inventory menu to kind of create new products, set prices, and do all of the product related things, right? Change pictures and things like that. The advertising menu where we create PPC campaigns, which is incredibly important to maintain high ranking and get a lot of low cost sales through advertising through Amazon. The promotions tab when you are doing product launches to kind of get that initial momentum to get your product to page 1 where you can kind of organically stay there if you do create a quality product with a quality listing. The last one is reports, and I usually only do the advertising report, and from the advertising report all that I ever look at is search term reports. So the point here, guys, is don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Realistically, there's only 3 menus I use, and within those menus, right, all I use is manage inventory. All I use is campaign manager to create PPC, promotions to launch products, and there's only one report, advertising reports, search term report. So now let's take a quick look at how we actually create a product listing. I come into the inventory, manage inventory window, go to add a product, right? And if you are selling on someone else's listing, so if you're not going to create your own listing, which I never recommend, because people call these people hijackers. So they'll go to a listing that already exists, they'll type in the ASIN here, and they'll sell against the listing that other person created from scratch as what's called a hijacker. So I never recommend that, right? You want to create your own sustainable business, you want to create your own brand, and you want to create something that's long term rather than just trying to pick off of other people's hard work. So we're going to go to create a new product listing here, and let's say that we are selling a what should we be selling today? Let's say we're selling a basketball. So we're going to go to find category, and we can, as you guys can see here, they list different categories, right? Because there's different overarching categories, and then there's different subcategories. We could do sporting goods, and then the next subcategory as sports-related merchandise, or we could do sporting goods, basketball equipment, basketball backboards, wall mount basketball backboards, right? But basketball backboards doesn't really make sense if we're selling a basketball itself. So, you can look for yourself and whichever one seems the most logical. Generally, it's one of the first few. In this case, sporting goods, basketball equipment, basketballs makes a ton of sense because that's exactly what we're selling. So we're going to choose that one. And then this is where you see kind of the edit listing, right? So when we were looking at the inventory, manage inventory, when we clicked edit over here on the right before, I'll show you guys really quick in a different window because this is an important one. So we go to inventory, manage inventory, and let's say that we had already made this basketball listing. We just basically press edit here, and then as you can see, we see the same screen that we're looking at here. It's just not filled out yet. So vital info, we fill it in, right? So we type basketball, but if it was our real listing, we type, premium, leather, outdoor, indoor, basketball, perfect gift for teenage boys and girls or something like that, right? And so we do keyword research using a variety of different software like Merchant Words, Google Keyword Planner to populate our title to be, the most keyword rich that it could possibly be for people who are looking to buy a basketball, right? Because we want to see the most possible people out there who are looking to buy a basketball by typing in all of these different search terms by millions and millions of Amazon customers. We want all of them to see our listing come up first. So we want to put in the most popular keywords that would make somebody who types that in arrive at our listing, right? So this is where we put in our our brand name. So people always say private label. Don't get confused by that. All people mean by private label is creating a brand, right? Like, so it's Nike or Google. So maybe we're, we can make up a brand name that's similar to that. We could call ourselves, Grand Slam B-balls. And it's important here, guys, that when you are creating your brand name, and most people do this, right? They create an LLC, or if you want to get really serious about it, right, you trademark your brand name. But at the beginning, right, the only thing that really needs to match here is the logo you create and print on your product itself, right? You can go on Fiverr or Upwork and get a logo made. It costs like $5. You send the PDF of that to your supplier and say, hey, print this on the box, right? And all of a sudden you have a private label brand, right? And so you want to be careful, though, when you are creating your brand name. You don't want to be too specific because maybe you want to sell basketballs at first, but then maybe you see a cool other product that isn't necessarily related to basketballs that you want to sell in the same Amazon Seller Central account. And if you call yourself Grand Slam B-balls, people are going to see your brand name and associate you, with basketballs and other sporting goods and things like that. So I usually put manufacturer and brand name as the same because when you're a private labeler, you are both the manufacturer and the seller. When it says product ID here, this is a UPC for in the United States. If you're selling in Europe, it's an EAN. And so you get your UPC codes from a variety of places. As of mid-August 2017, Amazon technically tells everyone to purchase their UPC codes from a place called GS1, which is an originator of UPC codes. But as of right now, I'm still advising my students to purchase their UPC codes from a website called Nationwide Barcodes. So Nationwide Barcodes is technically a reseller of UPC codes. A lot of other different people are reselling nationwide barcode. Maybe it's nationwide barcode. Yeah, it is. So I put an S. So nationwide barcode. Right, so GS1 originated UPCs, but they're still reselling them. As you can see, they're always running discounts, because it's incredibly cheap for them to buy and resell these. They do it in, sets of millions, and you can get UPCs here. For very cheap, right? So if we wanted to buy 50, this would be 50 different products. And I want to be clear here, like let's say you're selling a garlic press, right? And you order 500 units. People always ask me, do I need 500 UPCs for that? And the question is no, or the answer is no. You need one UPC, but you need to print that same UPC on all 500 different units, right? So if you sell a garlic press, you need one of these 50 UPCs. And let's say you sell a basketball now you need two of those UPCs, of those 50 UPCs. So I hope that clears it up a little bit. But again, 50 UPCs and for $40, and they always run discounts, so it's very cheap. And GS1 generally is around $700 per year or more, for a similar quantity. So I'm still using nationwide barcodes because I think it would be incredibly difficult for Amazon to kind of retroactively apply any type of enforcement to make people use GS1 originated barcodes. It would just destroy their catalog, and I think it would be very hard for them to do that. I think a much more probable alternative scenario would be that Amazon creates their own UPC system and makes new sellers or makes people creating new listings use those UPCs, or in the future they would mandate all new product listings have to be GS1 originated barcodes, but as of right now they aren't doing that. So use the cheap ones for now, and if they ever make a change in the future, I will update this and kind of tell you guys what I think the best option is for now. But for right now, the best option is nationwide barcodes. So we'd add a UPC here. If you want variations, right, so let's say you sell like cell phone cases and you have 10 different colors all for like the iPhone 7. So you could set up 10 different variations and they would all appear on the same product listing, right, for all of these different colors, or whatever the combination may be. Maybe you sell one that's small and one that's larger and you have two variations, so that's where you'd set it up here. Offer is where you set up how much you're pricing things for. So you're always, as an FBA seller, selling it as in new condition. If you again are selling as FBM or fulfilled by merchant, you could do different used, like new, very good, acceptable, whatever the case may be. But as an FBA seller, meaning we're buying it from a Chinese manufacturer or a manufacturer in a different third world type country, shipping it into an Amazon FBA warehouse, Amazon is fulfilling those for us, right? So the condition is always going to be new. When you're setting your price here, guys, always set it higher than you might think, because Amazon has what's called a price band review, which means that let's say I'm selling a basketball and I put $29.99 here, and then Christmas time comes around and basketballs are selling like crazy, right? And I want to change my price to $49.99 or something like that. Amazon won't actually let you raise your price any percentage higher from what you originally set it at. So let's say that basketballs are selling for $29.99 retail, and then you set your sale price, which we'll talk about in a second, to $19.95. If you want to raise that sale price later on, like during Christmas or some busier time of the year, maybe you're selling a love-related product or an anniversary-related product during Valentine's Day, you want to sell that for much more expensive because the demand is so much higher. Just trust me here, guys, set this price something ridiculously high. So the most you could ever possibly picture yourself selling a basketball for, let's say it's $59.99, right? And so then we'll later set the sales price to maybe $29.99 or $19.95 or whatever it is, and they'll see 60 slash through, and they'll see the sale price prime available for $19.95. So we're going to set it at $59.95. This is where we add our images, right? Choose file. You can add, I think, 5? You can add 9 different images. Description. So this is the product description where you kind of see, the multiple paragraphs of different things like that. You can use, like we could say, premium basketball. You can use actually HTML here. So this would actually bold it. If you want to, make breaks, you can use that and say like the world's best basketball. And so you can write that like that in the product description. Not many people read the product description, so don't kill yourself here, but you do want to use, a keyword-rich product description to get Amazon's A9 algorithm, which is how they decide, which products rank where according to which keywords. You want to have, a keyword-rich product description, and more importantly, you want to have a keyword-rich key features. So let's take a look at what some actual key features look like here. So let's click on, or actually, let's just actually look at a basketball while we're here. All right, so basketball. So we can see here that Spalding sells a variety, right? So here are the variations right here. You can see that they offer 3 different variations: youth size, official size, intermediate size. We can see that the list price here is $17.99, right? And the sale price is $12.99. So you want to make sure to set that list price up. I would probably set that a little bit higher, maybe $24.99 or even $29.99, and then bring it down to $12.99 to save 50%, right? Because it seems like more savings. You don't want it to be too ridiculous. Like, you don't want this to be $1 million and then selling it for $12.99 for like 99.9999% off. But make it something realistic. So this is where we see the description. So as you guys can see, this isn't particularly optimized. So let's take a look at one that might be a little bit better of an example. And use what people have already done, guys. Don't get overwhelmed trying to build a listing completely from scratch, right? We want to look at people who have done a listing correctly. So this is a great example of an optimized listing, right? The first main keywords that you're trying to get across in capitalized letters to kind of draw people's attention to it. You can use negative reviews from other similar listings to, because maybe somebody might say, it just breaks really easily. It's so hard to actually squeeze it. It's impossible to clean, right? And so they're highlighting what other products' negative reviews are calling out. They're saying how much better theirs is, and they're drawing attention to it with capitalization, right? So maybe on a different garlic press listing, there's like 20 negative reviews, and all of them say, it's so hard to clean, it's impossible to squeeze it together, I couldn't return it. And so they're highlighting here, easy squeeze, easy clean, like lifetime guarantee, right? All of these things that might be pain points for other particular products, they're calling it out to talk about how much more amazing their product is, right? And we see high definition images here that you can zoom in on, right? They're filling out all of the different ones with the features called out. This is a very beautiful listing. So use what people have already done. If you're selling garlic presses, type in garlic press, look what other people are doing, look about what is drawing your specific attention to, maybe use their bullet points here to base how you write your own. Obviously don't copy anything, but use it as inspiration, right? Because it's much harder to start from scratch than it is to build out something from what you can already see, right? And so I was just looking to see if they're brand registered. So they're not brand registered, but if they were, right, we'd see some other images here. They can have, let's see. I'm sure that some of these dog collars would definitely be brand registered. So let's take a look at this listing. I've never looked at this before, so I don't know. But again, we see some variations here for all the different colors and sizes. We see product display ads. This is a way that you can advertise using the Amazon PPC. So again, these guys are not brand registered, but if they were brand registered, we just see additional images and imagery and just further capability to add kind of lifestyle shots of your particular product that can be appealing to some customers. So we'd add our description here again. So for this one, their description is not particularly well done, in my opinion. It doesn't call out, the particular pain points or things that you're trying to get across here. But again, these are what kind of populate from your key product features. So this is where you'd add them. You'd want to say, premium quality outdoor basketball, and then you type, perfect gift for the whole family or whatever it is, right? And you can do keyword research using merchant words to see kind of what people are looking for. Maybe people are looking for a certain size of basketball or a certain material or whatever the case may be. So you'd fill in your key product features here, your product description here. This is where you populate your backend search terms, right? So these are the search terms along with your title, your product description, and your bullet points that Amazon is actually using to index what is called your particular keyword. So Amazon's A9 algorithm is an incredibly complicated algorithm that basically, decides which product should appear where in the search results for, millions of different search terms and millions of different search strings, right? And so if you have a very well indexed backend keyword terms, it means that if somebody searches a bunch of different sayings or keywords on the Amazon search bar, your product will appear on those search results. So you want to be indexed very high. There are different software like keyword index checker and a number of different services that we do talk about in the Amazon FBA Ninja course, to how to get a very indexed search terms in your backend, which gives you very profitable automatic PPC campaigns. It gives you, it gets you much higher in the organic search results. And when I say organic, it means that, in the search results that are not advertising, right? You're not paying to be there. You're just there because Amazon has deemed your particular product very relevant for that specific search term. So I know that was a lot of data, guys, so let's quickly summarize what we are going to be doing in your Seller Central account. Right, so the main places that we're going to be using spending most of our time is in the manage inventory section, right? This is where we add products. This is where if we want to go into a specific listing, we click edit, right? We can go into our offer, we can, update our sale price, we can update our, retail price, we can set sale dates, if we want to change our keywords, if we want to change our bullet points or our product description, this is where we do it. If we want to change our images, this is where we do it. That's the main place that you're going to use in your inventory. When you're ready to actually create a shipping plan, which we go into a ton of detail into in the Amazon FBA Ninja course, there's also, I'm sure, free resources out there on YouTube if you are on more of a budget and want to try to teach yourself rather than taking a course. So that is how you create a shipping plan. It's where you get your carton labels. It's what you provide to your manufacturer over in China for them to be able to ship your products out using a freight forwarder, which we do have great contacts for in our group. If you are interested in joining. We don't usually use the pricing menu. We don't usually use the order menu unless you are a fulfilled by merchant seller shipping things out from your own house. The advertising menu we use a lot. This is where we create our PPC campaigns, which we go into incredible detail in the FBA Ninja course, how to create super profitable keyword campaigns, both manual, both automatic, how to create keyword campaigns with broad match, phrase match, exact match. We go into all that in excruciating detail, probably more than you want to actually hear me talk, trust me. Enhanced brand content if you have a trademark, right? Promotions when you are running, those initial product launch promotions to try to get your product up onto page one, and then use kind of the organic momentum once you are on page one for your top keywords to stay there. This is where we do our advertising report, right? So most of the reports are pretty useless, but the search term report is an incredible source of data for exactly what people are searching to find your product, how to make decisions, right? How to update your title. If a ton of people are clicking on a certain search term that you are advertising for, you want to put that in your title, right? Because people are obviously clicking on it. And that kind of is the summary of Seller Central, guys. We went through, all the different menus. We went through choosing, between an individual, if you're only selling 1 or 2 products a month, versus a professional seller account. If you are serious about this and you want to use Amazon FBA to create a new source of income and leave your 9-to-5 corporate job behind, right? We talked about how to create a product listing, all the different aspects of creating a product listing. We talked about the most important menus. So I hope that helped you guys. It's kind of complicated when you first look at Seller Central, but trust me, guys, it's not as complicated as you think. You definitely can do it. If this was helpful for you guys, please definitely make sure you do subscribe. I promise you I'm going to be continuing to give you the absolute best content anywhere on how to make money online and leave your corporate job behind. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will definitely see you next time.